live at where the heck are we? We're at Fantom Comics,
located at 2010 P Street, Northwest Washington D.C.
Right around the corner from my job.
Okay. All right. So to my left is this is my left.
My name is Armand.
And to my right,
it's Skyday.
And in the middle, I'm Harry. We're here to talk about Rogue One. And I'm going to ask the young lady behind the counter.
Wait a minute, where'd my nachos go?
We're good.
Okay. All right. So, big film that everyone's more or less waiting for comes out tomorrow. And if you don't know the story is simply this.
Assassin's Creed?
That's next week.
Are you talking about Logan? I can't wait to see Logan.
That's next year.
Oh.
Okay. No, this movie gives us the whole backstory. God, why?
Oh wait, you know, I did see that was coming out. But Fate of the Furious looks even worse though.
You know what? I'm kind of done with that franchise. But no, you're here.
I'm here.
Okay. See, y'all killing me today. You're killing me. Okay. For those that have been hiding under a rock for the past year or so, Rogue One it's the story of how they got the plans to the Death Star to blow it up.
Right.
It's the prequel to A New Hope.
Right.
Yeah, that's how that works. So basically the idea is this. So the idea is simply this is what's going to happen if we take one movie. We had a big movie last year. We're going to have a little in-between movie. And we're going to give you the story of how they got the plans. Now, my thing was when I first heard about Rogue One, and the idea was, okay, this is how the rebellion got a hold of the plans, I thought it was going to harken back to that one line that Mon Mothma made in Return of the Jedi, that many Bothans died to get their hands on the plans.
No, because I would put it in between Empire Strikes Back and
Which I would have been good with. I really would have been good with that if they had done that, but that apparently wasn't the case. So the whole idea is, no, this is how they got their hands on the original Death Star plans.
Okay.
So I guess the question is now, because some of us went to go see the screen on Monday, how was it?
Well, I was actually going to say the real question is, how do you feel about Ray Lewis being in your background profile picture on Facebook now? But
that's absolutely
that's
a face palming move kind of moment.
But I guess we can't ask the question how the movie is.
Sam.
All right,
bro.
My guy.
You know, I deducted 2 cool points for myself for that action when I saw what happened this morning. But that's his own story we can talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
yeah,
all right.
That's gonna be the February Black History Month.
All right. Yeah, okay.
It's so hard.
So let me talk about the movie. All right. I'm going to give it to you from 2 points of view. The first is going to be as, you know, as a standalone movie, as a fan of movies. The second is going to be from someone that has followed Star Wars since its inception, and how this story fits in, especially with the prequels that exist. All right, so as a movie, I'm just gonna come straight out and say this was the movie I almost wished that The Force Awakens was. Being that, okay, now the first half hour or so may have started off a bit slow. A lot of character building. You had to understand who all these characters were in relation and why so many of them were packed into this movie, because of course you had Felicity Jones that played Jen. She's been like the de facto face of the movie. You had Ben Mendelsohn that was Admiral Krennic, I believe, Krennic, who is your villain. He's your...
Wow, so that it's interesting that's who it is, because I was always kind of waiting to see whether that was a young version of Tarkin.
No.
Okay.
No. I don't want to say it, but anyway, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Tarkin being Peter Cushing, who was sitting talking to Darth Vader all through A New Hope.
Yeah.
That
guy. Krennic is like one of the people that's vying for control of running the Death Star and, you know, doing everything Death Star-y with it, etc. and so forth. and he's chasing down Mads Madison, who is Jen's father, who was one of the scientists that worked. Yeah, Mikkelsen. Thank you. I always get that mixed up. Thank you, Mads Mikkelsen, who was playing one of the scientists that was working on the Death Star. And he's the one that points out, like, well, yeah, there's that little 2-meter hole that if you drop a bomb in it, there's a reason why that happens. And actually, what's funny is if you look on YouTube,
college humor. It was college
humor.
humor.
Where the guy goes off about,
Right. The engineer's like, you know, it is exhaust ports for things to come out of it. If we didn't live in a universe that had space wizards and space magic, there's no way some kid. Yeah. You gotta watch the videos.
Yeah, it's hysterical. So you have the setup, and then once you get on to the second act where everything's going along well, you have to do this, to do that, to get the plans, to get it to the rebellion. It's almost just like balls to the wall action. One of the things that I liked about it is with all of the cast members that are in this movie, from Donnie Yen and so many others. Even Forrest Whitaker, is every character serves a purpose, no matter how much screen time they get. Nobody really gets wasted in this movie.
Well, you say wasted because you can't tell me that from the trailer Forrest Whitaker makes it through the whole movie. As a matter of fact, the trailer almost screams out, Forrest Whitaker dies right about now.
No,
because he's obviously he's not on the final transport.
I mean,
and you can tell he was walking kind of slow. So if the Imperials kind of like hit his special hiding place, that whole save the rebellion, save the dream, like, okay, so he dies pretty much about 20 seconds after that. Oh, you're not gonna say it? Okay.
I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. I'm trying. You keep asking me questions. Okay. There's gonna be a lot of people out there watching that.
Well, fine. Can I make one statement then?
What?
But before you finish your review, it's Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes.
He must have gotten some of the best paychecks of this year because he showed up in Doctor Strange.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you notice now, is that all of these actors are getting it both ways as far as money is concerned. Because they're either getting it from Marvel, or they're getting it from Disney.
Really, he got it from Disney.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like they find a way to have all of these characters in there. Like, you've got Forrest Whitaker in this, and he's going to be in Black Panther. You've got Mads Mikkelsen, who's in Doctor Strange and in this now. So.
And coming off being an inspector, I'm just like, I have failed twice.
No, that was Casino Royale.
No, it was Casino Royale, but he did. His likeness was used for. But yeah.
But no, I've established I failed twice in life. First, when Flavor of Love came out, I was like, somehow there is a crackhead that's on television, and I know I went to school and studied, and so somehow that was failure number one. And two was I really need to get cast as a nondescript villain that doesn't say a lot.
Doesn't do a lot.
Right, doesn't do a lot, but just randomly appears menacing. Because apparently that is a guaranteed way to a quality paycheck in multiple franchises. So
pretty much.
That's my fault.
Sorry.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Next lifetime.
But one of the main reasons why I really enjoyed this film, and I honestly think I enjoyed it better than I did The Force Awakens, is because, yes, you still got a competent story. Everything is understandable, but like I said, for the action, for the action sequences, for, taking like multiple balls, juggling them up in the air to end up where they did, I thought they did a really good job with that. So I think fans of that will be appreciative. And of course, because this is the movie that is before A New Hope, there are just enough Easter eggs and harkenings back to A New Hope to connect both movies. Now, as a fan of the entire series since inception, and we've had this discussion, so you kind of already know what I'm about to say.
Oh, I do. I believe memories may be correct. You wrote a wonderful 700-word article.
Oh God, yes.
Short version: we didn't necessarily need this movie because this, as well as some of the other films that have been done in the Star Wars universe, they follow along the path of, we want to tell you a story. We want to give you a book. We want you to start in the middle of this book, read it all the way up to the end. And if you're not already confused by what happens at the end, we want you to go back to the beginning of the book and start from the beginning. And somewhere along the line, just read it all the way through until everything becomes crystal clear. Now, having said that, again, while the movie as standalone is not a bad movie, I don't think I really necessarily needed to know how they got the plans. We knew they did something dangerous to get the plans because that much was clear in A New Hope.
Yeah.
But you know why I'm actually not mad about that? Because prior to the acquisition of Star Wars by Disney, this would have been a story that would have been told in an extended universe story.
Yeah.
This would have been
a comic, this would have been a novel.
And let's be honest, and every novel was not written by Timothy Zahn. The degree
Right.
the degree of drift in quality was kind of severe.
Yeah.
So my thing is, it's kind of like these are the other kinds of stories I was looking for, because look, the reason why Return of the Jedi and the prequels suffered to me is because the target demographic changed.
Yeah.
The original series was very much skewed towards young adults, where the prequels and Return of the Jedi, it was like, oh wow, we've discovered merchandising. There must be Ewoks. We must have kid-friendly, safe droids who, like stormtroopers, can't hit anything.
Right. And they still can in this movie.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Oh Lord, that was okay. I hate to say it, the one
They're stormtroopers.
That was one of the great things about Force Awakens was like they opened with stormtroopers
that were
killing
everything.
So just to kind of buck that trend. So
But-
yeah, it is.
I'm
kind of-
sorry.
I guess the larger thing is the fact that it's a darker film.
It is a darker
It's a
film.
film that's intended for adults and a more mature audience. Because for me, the value of the extended universe, all those John Ostrander, look, Star Wars, when you think about it, is a fairly dark story. I mean, they've done a good job of lightening it up, but it is basically the Nazis versus the rest of humanity with space wizards and magic. And oh, by the way, the space wizards occasionally go bad.
Yeah.
Every now and again.
What is it? Someone puts it like a young farm boy joins insurgents to fight a
That movie.
the fascist regime.
Lord.
Yeah. But, I mean,
Dude.
do I recommend this film? Yes. I mean, no matter which way I look at it, from, the film goer versus the longtime fan, I recommend this film. But, it still gets to me that, we have remained stuck in this period of time in that Star Wars universe for so long.
I mean, and I hear you, but I guess the writer in me looks at it and says, well, that's the moment of the best dramatic tension. So, I mean, to tell this story, you get to a magical place that you really haven't been able to get to with most of the stories. All of my characters are expendable.
Yeah.
I can get the audience to come in and fully commit to the fact that there are no sacred cows. Everybody, I mean, look, the single biggest driver, because for most of the audience, you guys are probably too young to be able to remember it. I was in elementary school when Return of the Jedi came out. That was the first Star Wars movie that everybody was like, anything could happen. Luke might not make it. The rumors were the Millennium Falcon was going to explode.
Mm-hmm.
Vader was going to get away.
Wait,
so,
you mean Return of the Jedi or Empire?
Talking about Return of the Jedi.
Okay, because for me, Empire was that movie where, wait a minute, first you find out Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Right.
Me as a small kid, just saw a guy get his hand cut off with a laser sword. I'm already at an age where I know when things are painful to me, and seeing someone get their hand cut off is registering as something I don't want to ever happen to me in my life.
True, but as an audience, that's one of the last moments you walk into a Star Wars film and saying, okay, and the whole thing behind Force Awakens that they finally had to do, some significant major character finally had to get knocked off. Because audiences were coming in and basically being able to rely on the fact, well, this isn't the Clone Wars cartoon, this isn't Star Wars Rebels,
Yeah.
so pretty much everybody's going to make it. So the whole reason why to do this anthology film and the other ones that are playing, the Han Solo film, the Lando Calrissian film that's playing, is you need to have films where it's like, okay, the main character themselves probably isn't going to get bumped off. Everybody else you see, there's a better than 50% chance they're probably not going to make it. And Rogue One basically a Star Wars Suicide Squad movie, which meant going in, disproportionately, don't fall in love with anybody, because more than likely, they're not going to make it. A la Forrest Whitaker. Because if you couldn't see if you watch, okay, you have to be under the power of some powerful opioids to watch that trailer and not see like, gee, I see the old guy here, but I see him
He
not.
gonna make it.
I see him not anywhere
He
else.
just might walk out.
Now, let me ask you this question. How was Donnie Yen? Because the big debate that I kept hearing about was, this is our first Star Wars film. There are no Force users. His character is a mystic, but he's not really a Force wielder.
He's actually blind too.
Yes.
Yes.
How did that work in the film?
Roll with what you just said. How did it? You know what? And this kind of goes back to what I was just saying earlier. It's like everybody had a purpose, and even with Donnie Yen's role, what he was, which you described him to a T, it works for the film because eventually he does find his purpose. As far as his fight sequences, it's Donnie Yen. They're going to be off the hook, and it's still scandalous that he's never been utilized in more films in the U.S. Because if you ever watch even Ip Man, the Ip Man series, and a lot of his other stuff, if you want to go all the way back to
Iron Monkey.
Yes.
Are you telling me that Western cinema has a failure to be able to properly use talented Asian actors?
I'm going to act like I'm going to.
How about this?
Hey, but
hold on. One name: Chow Yun-fat. Chow Yun-fat makes a whole series of phenomenal films. We get The Replacement Killers, right?
I like The Replacement Killers.
Okay, The Replacement Killers was like when you've gotten tired of watching Steven Seagal and you're hoping for a slightly better movie. We get you The Replacement Killers.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
That was only one, because it wasn't like, how about Bulletproof Monk?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
But
getting
back to the
guess.
Go ahead.
But guess who is in Triple X Return of Xander Cage? Donnie Yen.
All I'm gonna say is, Mike Tyson was in one of the last Ip Man movies. Right?
Oh, I saw that scene. That scene was dope. I don't know how it makes sense.
You could have Donnie Yen punching a bag of deplorable Skittles, and most of America would show up and watch.
Well, that's what you get here in this movie. Because I think that was the one thing that I thought was missing is the fact that
Not enough deplorable Skittles.
Oh, it was plenty of deplorable Skittles for him to bounce around for a while, but he needed something to fight back against him. That would have been really nice. Is to have like maybe one fight sequence where one of the Imperial officers had some skill and could go toe to toe with them, but
kind of like the stormtrooper in Force Awakens, who was like traitor.
Okay,
Okay, I just want not to like sidetrack the thing or anything, but that was just the thing that annoyed me even more. That they did not do a damn thing with Captain Phasma in Force Awakens. I was like, I understand she's like the ominous general. She's got to be a presence in this, and it's all this thing now where we already know there's going to be 2 or 3 more movies. There's going to be like 2 more movies. So just wait. It's like that's the same thing y'all said with Boba Fett.
We waited.
That's fair.
We waited for years for Boba Fett, only to have him somehow just surreptitiously knocked into a pit that looked like a giant hoo-ha.
Okay, you know what? I will agree with y'all. I'll just say this.
I'll believe it when I see it.
If you're gonna make somebody's armor shiny, they kind of have to do something useful.
Yeah.
If they're just shiny for the whole movie, it kind of, as a fan, it kind of like
it's awesome to see. It's an awesome visual. Don't get me wrong, but if you're not going to do anything with the character and you kind of play her out at the end, near the end of the film anyway.
Let's not talk about Force Awakens, because that could be an entire hour-long show of bad planning, missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Here's my
let me bring it all the way back. No, go ahead and ask your question. As long as it brings it back, right?
Okay, beyond what you talked about as being, a lifelong Star Wars fan, as a standalone film, what would you think was the weakest part of it?
The weakest part may have just been the setup, but it really wasn't that bad because you kind of need that setup to get everybody in the position to get you where you're going. They could have just cut some things down just a bit. That you know how it is. Just trim the fat just a little bit for pacing. That to me was it. Everything else it fit, it flowed. Jen's relationship with everyone else around her. Everybody had like that little bit of mistrust amongst each other. It wasn't like, okay, well, I like her, then everybody was all buddy. Their relationship took time to develop.
Got it.
Because and I cannot remember her opposite's name. off the top of my head.
Diego Luna.
Thank you. They had different, dogmas about how to go about things because, Diego, he was all about the rebellion. He was all about getting the job done. He was all about being a soldier. Whereas Felicity Jones's character, Jen,
I saved Dad.
Yeah, like
I gotta save Dad.
as a standalone, like
Yeah.
event that happened.
I don't care about anything else. You all can go do your thing. Just get me here. And then, Diego got questioned about his loyalty to the rebellion. Are you just a soldier, or are you gonna think for yourself?
But you know why stuff like that frustrates me as a writer because it creates a very predictable path for the character. If I start off and it's like I'm selfish, I only care about my thing, then the inevitable moment in the movie is the moment where I believe, which is what, again, those throwaway lines. What hope can we possibly have against the Empire? We have hope.
Yeah, stick with that word.
Rebellions are built upon hope. All right,
stick with that word.
Let me ask you the $64,000 question.
Yeah.
How effectively is Vader used in this film? And the reason why I ask is because it is painfully clear from every review I've read, they're like, well, James Earl Jones is there, he's used, and I've heard debates swirling in regards to how effectively he was used because the standard line I heard was, to the limited degree in which he is used, when he is used for significant effect that are big boom moments in the movie.
That tells me absolutely nothing.
Good. Let it tell you absolutely nothing because I thought the same thing for the limited time that he is used. When he is used, it's very effective. And you know what? From a fanboy's point of view, me personally, if you don't wet your pants just a little bit at the one scene that he is used for, you're wrong for this universe.
Do I get a force show? Do I get a force show?
Don't tell me.
No, I have a right to know that.
You get the force.
Okay, that's good enough because
You get the force. You get the force. Something.
The force.
That's good enough because at least once a year in a dumb meeting at work, I had the opportunity to say, "I find your lack of faith disturbing."
Roll with that.
Right? Okay.
Roll with that.
Hey, good.
No,
You get the force.
No, I love the Darth Vader Pope meme.
I will tell you this. One of the things that I did like and appreciate was during the battles, you finally get to see a larger variety of ships, especially among the Imperials. And dare I say, this is going to be one of those things where all those nice reference materials that most of us have collected over the years, the ships and the visual guides and dictionaries.
Oh God!
There's going to be another one.
You mean that? Oh, that 2:00 in the morning Amazon purchase. You knew you shouldn't have bought it.
Yeah.
You didn't know there were 17 different types of TIE fighters, but you bought it anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a few more TIE fighters added. Trust me.
Ooh, nice.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Because watching the trailers, I think we see more separate, independent scenes involving X-wings flying around than almost any other Star Wars film I can think of. Because disproportionately, if you get them, there's one big fight, and the X-wings are there, and we see them in a dark, nighttime-ish kind of environment. You see them in space. I think they're flying around in the tropics as well. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I watched every trailer so much I probably have minutes and seconds broken down. So how effectively, because the big space opera scenes are the things that everybody kind of goes, how well done were those?
This is better than Force Awakens. Because there was a lot. It was nice to see the X-Wings, even if they were the new ones. It was nice to see them finally doing some planet side fighting and all this and that. Like, we're going to fly along the water and we're going to do battle and this. But how contrived was that third act where, okay, we're going to send a couple of snub fighters up against this huge planet and we're going to take out the planet?
Don't forget about it.
Well, no, because we've seen that already.
We've been there, done that. But you've never seen them used in such a way where, okay, we're going to use them like normal Air Force would use fighters for air cover, for strafing runs, these guys are down on the ground and they're trying to do blah, blah, blah. Send in some X-Wings to give them some cover. Make some time for, and yeah, like I said, it's like everything. There's nothing really wasted in this movie.
Well, I didn't know the Rebellion had that kind of budget.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, starting off with the original Star Wars, it was kind of like you could count the number of X-Wings. It was like, wow, like you can tell they had to get like the.
We sent exactly 30 of them. And once the Death Star blew up, we got back like 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, no, that was. I think they were more generous in the original, like, you know, in the original cut. The newer, more updated one, it was the Millennium Falcon taking up most of the shot.
Yeah.
There goes Wedge.
Mm-hmm. There goes Luke. And that random white wing.
I was like, who are these other people? We don't care about them. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them.
But yeah, it's like I said again, it's a lot more expansive with the ships, with the fighting, and you know you get, you know, battles on different fronts as you're watching that third act. And like I said, you know, once everything culminates and breaks out, it's much more thrilling than. Persuade. Honestly, for me, this is the best thing since Return of the Jedi.
How was the robot? Because, and the reason why I asked
K2.
Okay, because I am a diehard Knights of the Old Republic fan.
Yeah.
And so, HK was kind of like my gold star standard for Star
Right.
Wars robots.
Right.
More than R2, because let's be honest, R2 is cute, he's not entertaining.
Yeah, especially when you really can't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
So, rest in peace, Kenny Baker.
Yeah.
No. So, how was the robot?
Alan Tudyk as K2 was freaking hilarious because, you know, he's an Imperial droid that's been reprogrammed, and you know how they said that, you know, in the Star Wars universes the droids go so long, you know, once droids go so long without being reprogrammed, they start to get a bit of a personality, which is immediately why at the end of Revenge of the Sith, wipe that C-3PO unit. They ain't say nothing about R2. Remember, they never touched R2-D2. It was C-3PO that got his mind wiped. Well, K2's kind of the same way. K2, even though he's been reprogrammed, you know, they never really made it clear that he got wiped. So yeah, he has a very snarky personality, and he has some lines. He steals, like, certain scenes he just takes by, you know, just saying stuff out of his mouth. It's like, really?
Okay, so is it safe to say basically he's like the robot Chewbacca? I mean, I hate to say it. When I saw the whole cast, I was like, there's a whole bunch of, we can't put Chewbacca, we'll do blah. So it's kind of like, Jan Erso is Han Solo.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No, where you going with that? No, he's more of Diego's sidekick.
Okay.
Yeah, he's more of Diego. Who's casually? Yeah, I'm looking it up now, so I can stop calling him Diego.
By the way,
Cassian.
As an unrelated note, in terms of Star Wars related swag, do you know his jacket is selling for $550 by Columbia?
I'm not surprised.
Because
Man.
Columbia got this exclusive deal with Disney and Lucasfilms, where I think it was last Friday they had Jan Erso's jacket, and they had whatever Cassian Andor.
Yeah, Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor. They had his jacket available for $550, which I was like,
it's not a jacket though.
okay.
Not
Okay, let's
let's
just be honest. If you're gonna pull $550 for something, you're going for Luke's full outfit from the Empire Strikes Back before he gets his hand chopped off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you're going for Han's fur pullover hoodie. Because
Parker.
because for $550, I want to make sure that all of America recognizes what I have on. There's no point spending that much money and be like, you look like you're wearing some obscure pop cultural reference. Obviously, you're a nerd.
Yeah.
But I can't figure out what you're nerding out about. It's like, it's like
I like your nerdiness, but I don't know your nerdiness.
Right.
Okay, someone asked the question, do we get to learn more about midichlorians? That'll be a deal breaker for me.
Oh, God.
No. Matthew,
Those don't exist.
I was talking to somebody about that, and I was like, that's the worst moment in Star Wars.
Because the whole thing is they make any they don't make any references to the Jedi or to the Force or anything like that. I mean, the most that you hear about the Force is Vader's scenes. That's pretty much it.
Hold on. They have the whole flyover scene over the planet where, like, the origin, where the Jedi is supposed to originate from. You have that broken statue laying in the desert with the lightsaber broken.
Cut.
Right. And
You
they
don't see it in.
Oh, it was cut from the film?
Yeah.
Man, I hate when they do that.
You know, I was slightly disappointed about as well. I was really, waiting for that scene where Jen was standing on that little gantry and the TIE fighter floats up.
Yes.
I was excited for that. That's good.
Are you serious?
I was hurt.
You know what?
I wanted to see something cool. I wanted to see her jump on the TIE fighter and take it over. Or
now I hate to say it. Now, see, there's a danger that studios keep doing this because there was one thing that doomed Suicide Squad. It was that.
Yeah.
People saw a dramatic amount of great moments that were in the trailer, and when you saw to see the film, you were like, there was a scene with the Joker saying bye-bye with a pistol walking away, and it's not even in the film. How you filmed it. You obviously thought it was good enough to put in the trailer, so...
Why aren't you including them in movies? I mean, and there's lots of that. I mean, and not just here, not just there, but there are lots of movies like that.
They do that in a lot of movies.
They do, but I guess, like, these are big tentpole, you know, when you're sitting in corporate, you're like, our corporate earnings for fiscal, you know, for FY, you know, for FY17, quarter one, these aren't the films that you mess with because look, this is how you get to the magic place with stuff like Call of Duty, where people don't play Call of Duty because Call of Duty is horrible.
To be fair, though, then these are two poor examples of movies to bring up when you think about the money Suicide Squad made, and then the fact that this is Star Wars.
Because
it's going to make money.
Yeah, it's going to make money either way.
That's true.
It's going to make money either way, but I mean, sometimes that one scene is the scene that's going to bring people in.
I understand, and it was a scene that I definitely immediately recognized as something that caught my eye and said, ooh, what's going to be what's going to be revolving around, what's the
Setting
scene that this clip is from? So I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying in terms of like these two examples, you're dealing with a movie that's already like earned a mint as far as concerned, and another movie that is based on a property that is just a license to print money for the past 40 years.
Suicide Squad made $769 million and is the 10th most grossing comic book movie of all time. It was just announced like 2 days ago. So no, I agree with you, but I'm like this. And maybe again, it's my own biased personal opinion because it's me being a writer and a creative person.
No, I understand.
That moment sells you on the heroism of the character because the entire trailer, you're like, she's a rogue, she doesn't really care, it's not that important. And
no, you're absolutely right.
And then when faced with that kind of a situation,
and she's obviously wounded, you're like, okay,
what do we get?
Right.
What do we
You have
get?
dramatic tension there that you would think that they would want to capitalize on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was kind of the well, not so much a deal breaker, but it's like, well, dang, you know, is this ever going to show up like in the deleted scenes and the extended edition? And you know, Star Wars is not known for having extended editions.
Oh, you mean the way I'm still waiting for the original version so I can watch Han Solo shoot first? Yeah, they do.
I own a copy of that.
I love you.
Okay, Matthew, your question is incomplete. After seeing both films, do you think Rogue One? So I'll just wait for him to chime in. So, any more questions?
Donnie Yen's partner with the big repeating blaster. I can't remember his name. His name is...
That would be, give me 1 second, Wen Zhang as Baze Malbus. Both of them good fit. It's like every character that was paired off with someone else were good fits for each other. And that was the other thing. It's like, you know, there was this one sequence where Donnie Yen is fighting against the stormtroopers, and you know, Baze backs them up. See you later. And you know, there's some quips that are exchanged. It's like almost everybody that you know finds themselves paired off with another character, they fit, they bounce off each other well. Because I think, Jen wasn't really paired with anybody. I mean, eventually, Jen and Cassian, you know, they find themselves together in situations and everything. But everybody, just the banter worked well throughout. Because basically, what it really boils down to when you're watching this movie, you know, you got the Suicide Squad part right, but not to mention you also have the whole Magnificent Seven vibe going on.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well, that's how it plays.
And I think really that's what you're getting when you're watching this film, because I know a lot of people were saying that, you know, with the grittiness and with the battle and all that stuff, it was going to be like Saving Private Ryan. It was less Saving Private Ryan and more Magnificent Seven, where you got this ragtag band going up against an entire planet full of the Empire. Kind of a swing to it.
Okay, so what was the rest of this question? After seeing both films, do you think might raise as much cash as Force Awakens? I don't see how it could. And I haven't seen the film, but I'm like, when you think about it's a holiday season release, it really doesn't have any other strong competition. You have that magical sweet spot where you can probably take anybody from the age of like 13 to the age of probably about, for the plus, it's that magic. You can take everybody, the whole family to go see it on Christmas night. But having actually seen the whole film, I defer to you.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. It's going to make money because Star Wars.
Yeah.
But as far as the merchandising is concerned,
there's no force wielders, and that kind of takes the kids out of it a little bit.
KT might be the popular character, but
they haven't done a lot to actually push that character.
They haven't done a lot to really push merchandising for the movie. Period. Although
exactly.
there's one scene in the movie where like, oh yeah, they're gonna turn a thing in this movie into some merchandising. I'm not gonna tell you what. But hold on.
Go ahead.
Because I mean, from the first teaser for Force Awakens, and you saw BB-8.
Yeah.
That was like a good year prior to the movie being released.
Right.
You knew that they were going to merchandise that.
Right. But see, the thing of it is, when you're talking Force Awakens, 30 years after Return of the Jedi, 30 years after anything, you know, revolving around the original trilogy, that's why people just went bonkers over it. You know, because like this was, again, the first movie that you get that gives us more of the story. So yeah, people are going to jump all over this. This, because it's another, not necessarily shoehorning, but you know, just another story that's made to fit in with another movie. Not so much, you know. And then okay, a year's already gone past since Force Awakens, so I mean, people will jump on the movie, but I think it's really just going to be the diehard fans that is going to really go out for the merchandise, like you know, the toys and the shirts and all that stuff. I don't think anything's really going to be as popular as BB-8 was until they find some way to have that BB-8 effect in the next couple of films.
And I honestly think that's fine. I don't think that this. I think that, you know, Disney and Lucasfilm went into this knowing that this was going to be sort of a side story film.
Yeah.
And it's not a part of, you know, it's not a main episode film.
Right.
So I think that gives them that freedom to say, okay, let's just have this be its own film. Obviously, it fits in with a larger story that we've already been familiar with, but it's not something that has to be what, you know, Episode 7 was, or you know, all the other trilogy, the original trilogy, or even the prequels.
Matt.
Hey, thanks for taking a question from the audience. I guess
thanks for asking.
I was wondering. I saw these side movies like Rogue One or what have you that they're doing that aren't part of the main series. You don't see them more as gateway movies that have a broader audience than somebody who might jump in the later movies. You don't see these as the potential for a bigger audience.
You know what? Because I think Rogue One does, if nothing else, it does fit in so well with everything else. Where you have people that have the argument about whether or not they should watch the prequels, this is like the perfect movie to get into because the movie does go into A New Hope. You can watch this and then start with A New Hope because I mean everybody's had debates about what order you should watch the movies in. And this is actually a pretty good movie where, like I said, if you want to know the backstory of how the Rebels got the plans to the Death Star, you can go and watch that. And then, like I said again, just go watch the inevitable conclusion when you start A New Hope and just go from there. Because, like I said, they don't do. It's not necessarily that they do hand holding, but it's not complex to figure out. It's a point A to point B movie, and you just go for the ride and just enjoy the ride as it is. If that makes sense. And
see, I do think that it's going to make gangbusters. I do think.
Yeah, it's going to make money.
I think it has the potential of doing better than Force Awakens because I think it's a bigger audience. And look, at the end of the day, as soon as people saw Force Awakens, I'm telling you that the reception was nowhere near as positive as what you just gave me about this film.
Yeah.
Because as soon as people saw Force Awakens, the debate behind the characters, the structure, and the events, it was instantaneous. Because there's nothing. You touch no sacred cows that immediately become divisive. Because I can remember people who were like, I can't even watch it because they changed the Falcon. The dish is supposed to be circular and the dish is square and you have destroyed my childhood and it looks stupid. And there were people who I knew who were like, I'm not going to go see it for that reason, I'll just wait. So I'm just like, for anybody who hasn't seen it, the events that in regards to Han Solo, I won't spoil it for anybody, but there it is.
I will.
Han Solo died.
Can I just say one thing for the record?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I love about that scene? It's like
it was amazingly telegraphed.
Well, not beyond that. It's like the Imperial contracting. It's like
just like
no.
Yes.
Right. It's like somehow they build everything, but they never have rarely railings for anything. And on that bridge, they literally, it's like we started doing the railing, we got halfway, and we stopped.
We say bump it. Oh, wait a minute. And the railing goes from here for about maybe a quarter mile that way, and it's narrow.
This is government spending at its finest.
Who was the contracting officer on that contract? Because obviously nobody was monitoring anything. It was like nobody's getting complaints about the performer.
Is anybody falling?
What is railing?
But no, I think the movie's gonna do extraordinarily well.
Yeah.
Because of the fact I don't think any sacred cows get touched. Because everybody goes in with the presumption of you've never seen these characters in any of the successive movies in that series.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously those characters are more than likely, and I want you to spoil it for me, are going to make the ultimate sacrifice in order to secure the plans. Now, maybe some make it and maybe some don't, but the presumption is they're not going to be there. And two, in terms of merchandising, I have small people, and I've been shopping for Christmas stuff already. I can't get any of these figures at all. The only thing that is left are the big, super deluxe Mego action figures that
They got a crap load of. Well, are you looking for the 3 1/4 or the 6 inches?
The both, and I'll tell you, they're selling out fast enough. I was at a Target, they sold out and restocked.
Because they got plenty of them in my neck of the woods. If you need some,
We'll see for how long.
I'll put it this way: if the year 2016 has taught us anything, is that anything is possible. You can take a character like Deadpool and have it break records left and right for like a solid month after it's released, and now being nominated for multiple Golden Globes.
Shocking.
Yeah. We've already got the aforementioned Suicide Squad, and the fact that Donald Trump is president. Anything can. Probably the highest volume of notable celebrities have died this year than any year prior. Anything could happen. I'm still have my reservations about it making more money than The Force Awakens, but we are obviously living in the upside down right now. Yeah. So I'll just wait and see and keep my mouth shut until after I see the film.
So anything can happen? Alright. I want my own reality TV show. For those of you on the internet,
why?
Why not?
Because if a random lunatic can get released from the hospital and dye his hair blonde and show up, and it was reported like on the front page of the New York Times, there is a African American lunatic with his hair dyed blonde. He's in New York, and that was major time news. I had pink socks on. Don't you think I deserve my own reality TV show?
Yeah. Do it. but you know what? It would almost be criminal if this movie doesn't at least make its money back. Because you know what?
It's going to make its money back.
Obviously I wrote the review. I went back and I read
it's
everyone else's
Star Wars.
review.
It's going to make its money back. It's not even a question.
Well, but to be fair, it really is. It is an anthology film. If it doesn't do well, the Han Solo film, the Lando Calrissian film. I mean, in order to
just cast Donald Glover. They don't make sure that thing gets done.
Look now, just because you can't.
Too old for this shit.
and actually, now that's kind of where I wanted to bring the conversation around to before we wrap. As far as Star Wars being a generational thing, because when I wrote the article a couple of weeks ago about where the franchise is going, because I just felt like it was stuck. I had a whole bunch of younger folk. They tried to take me to task over that, and I still just kind of poo-pooed them away because it's like, okay, when as old as I am, you get you realize certain things. Like I love these things. It's almost like member berries. You haven't been watching South Park, okay? But it's just like there's certain things that you love, and then there's certain things at a certain point you kind of want to let go. And Star Wars has been one of those things for a while. As much as I like it, I don't have that same zest and zeal for it like I did, 20 years ago. Like, yeah, we were sniffing and hunting for anything Star Wars.
Well, that's because Revenge of the Sith came out, and that in Clone Wars, that kind of killed.
No, Fantom.
Okay, I was fine with Fantom.
I was.
Clone Wars was the beginning of my detox. And Revenge of the Sith, I was like, he
You
felt
mean
it-
Attack of the Clones?
Same difference.
Well, no, because for the younger audience who you tell them
We don't
Clone
want to
Wars
Right, we don't-
and they think about they talk about the Cartoon Network series, they think about that on a completely different level than the prequel movies.
You're absolutely right. The Attack of the Clones
Yeah.
and Revenge of the Sith, because he fell to the dark side because he was whiny.
Yeah.
And
you
I
know what?
I just give that movie credit for just having such a high volume of dismemberment scenes in there. And then you had Obi-Wan just slick as all hell, slicing off all 3 remaining limbs off of Anakin in one swipe.
One swipe.
I don't give him any credit because I'm like, if you were supposed to destroy the Sith and he's still talking, if I lopped off everything else, you should have lopped
if
this
you-
up.
Mercy. Hey, have some mercy.
I mean, what mercy?
No,
You let the man burn to death.
Thank you.
No.
No.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. To me, still, that was like, okay, real world terms. If you wanted to stop the Empire in its tracks, yeah, okay, I done cut off all your limbs, I left you here, but you know what? I'm not gonna let you burn. I'm just gonna stab you in the head and be done with it.
I'm gonna keep
Because
I'm gonna keep you in the lava. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I
No,
love you, my brother.
Because you have to use Batman Begins logic, where it's like, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. It's like,
Yeah, that's
but
what-
you're not supposed to kill.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
that's-
I'm Batman.
yeah,
I don't kill.
But at the same time, you don't leave the dude laying right there because,
oh my god.
well,
In the words of Dark Helmet, and evil will win because good is dumb.
Good forgot to take out the trash. Because I was like, wait a minute, you done went that far. You done cut off everything else the man didn't have. You done left him there. You're not going to finish the job? Really?
Okay, so does this go back to your original point? Does this restore your love of this franchise, or are you still kind of like, yeah, I can take it or leave it?
I can still take it or leave it. Because like I said, there's still so many holes and so many stories that, if you want to go out and make a bunch of movies, tell me these other things. Armand, you've heard my arguments. Tell me what happened after The Empire Strikes Back. Tell me we're getting it now, 30 years later. 30 years later, this is what happened after Return of the Jedi. But you still haven't told me, like, okay, well, what about those couple of months after Palpatine was taken out? What about those nice little skirmishes? Because that would make a TV. That would make hold. You know what? You could have saved me the whole effort of the Clone Wars by making a cartoon about that.
But I feel like it's coming because I feel like if I can get this, I can get my Darth Vader film where Vader doesn't do anything besides hunt the remaining Jedi and send the Force in the darkness. I feel like if I can get that, this is probably right around the corner too. I feel like there is the thing where you and I disagree. I disagree that there is a legitimate place for anthology films set within the original series. I think there's still value in doing that solely because you took the extended universe away.
Yeah.
And by taking that away, all that space is gone. Because look, the things that you gave up Mara Jade, you gave up the young Vaughn, you gave up Darth Caedius, you gave up a lot of good stories to now slide in a bunch of.
Vaughn wasn't exactly a good story.
Oh, no, it wasn't. But
go on.
But to slot in a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And so you're shackled with two things. The original cast is too old to do stuff like jump into the Timothy Vaughn series. So you had to do something different, which leaves there's a lot of space for good young new talent and stories you haven't seen. Stories right. set right there. Because I feel like the problem with The Force Awakens, the real center of Star Wars as a franchise, we have now chained everything that's new to the remnants of everything that's old.
But here's the thing. And see, I was just having this conversation with one of my friends after I saw the film. It's not necessarily Star Wars' fault. It's all about how things were done in the 70s and 80s and how we're doing them now. In the 70s and 80s, if you had one movie that was good, great, let's try a sequel. If the sequel was good, go for the third one. After the third one, that's it. That's a wrap. And for the longest time, Star Wars just sat, waiting. And George Lucas just held onto his baby tight. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys write a comic book. Okay, that's really nice. That Dark Force and Dark Force 2, that's cool, but that's not a part of the universe. Okay, we'll let you use some elements, but don't do this. Because I remember actually having a conversation with John Ostrander a few years ago. And I asked him, I said, you know what, Star Wars has covered so much ground, with the extended universe. They went back, told about the old Republic. They went all the way back and told how the first lightsabers were made.
Right.
And, of course, then they went fast forward 125 years to Luke's great-great-grandson.
Legacy was awesome. It was awesome.
Right. But I said, but then there was that little middle ground between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. And he told me specifically that, at that time, the folks from Lucasfilm says, don't touch that. We got something we're going to do with that.
Well,
and of course, some of that might be changing now. But like I said, it's always been interesting over the years how much, they've cherry-picked here and there in giving us stories from the universe. And I'm like, okay, now you got the chance to put some of the stuff in film. And actually, now that you got a chance to market some of the stuff for television, Rebels, as cool as it is, you kind of know that there's going to be a foregone conclusion where, those folks on the Ghost might not make it.
Well, but you see them in this, though.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'll say this. At the end of the day, the reason why Star Wars is played by all these issues and stuff like Marvel's cinematic universe is that you have an advantage, because you and I are both creative guys.
Yes.
You have an advantage when you start something from the inception and you run the story from top to bottom. You got plenty of space to not do fill-ins. You sit and say, we're going to decide what's worthwhile in telling the story. The filler stuff, we'll just let it be what it is.
Right.
When you made one, you didn't know if you're ever going to be able to make it the rest of them. There's already a breakdown between 2 and 3, because never have we ever gotten to a point where there's a satisfactory explanation behind Luke and Leia in the kiss. That's like the original Silver universe. So from there, it's kind of like the tonal differences, everything. It's like, look, Star Wars is not a cohesive universe. It is a mismatched group of stories slammed together. The prequels were horrible because the prequels were predictable, and because
again, what the foregone conclusions was.
Yeah. Right. So it's, look, The Force Awakens was our throwaway movie to get everything rebooted. We'll have to see what they do on as they inevitably start to cycle out the original characters, and they cycle all new ones in. So far as stuff like the anthology films, I'm kind of like, these are the good stories that are left to be told that haven't been touched on, because you have a broken universe that was not built. It was not built like a house from the top down. It was like, I'm gonna build a room.
I'm gonna make
a bathroom in the kitchen. Right.
I'm gonna build the roof. Oh wait a minute, we got to fill in the basement.
There you go.
And that's kind of where things.
But is the movie worth your money?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, because I do plan on going to see it again. And I actually might make the jump and watch it in 3. You don't have to.
No, I'm not going.
Here's the thing. I really think nowadays when movies are reviewed, especially big tentpole movies, there should be an inclusion. Do you absolutely need to see this in 3D? You don't have to. If I go and I see it, I might do it just to kind of see how they worked out the third act. But it's not. Doctor Strange.
Reviewers as a whole are not going to do that and mess up their money.
No.
They'll go review a film and tell you if it's crap or not, but they're still going to at least give you the option to say, well, if you want to go see it in 3D.
Well, I'm still of the opinion that Doctor Strange set the bar for what good 3D should look like.
And see, I would tell you that the only one that's really been worth it was Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight in IMAX.
Yeah.
That was the one. But I'll say this. With as few films as there are that are worth going to go see at this point, when one of these movies comes out, I view it much more as an event. I spend the money to go to IMAX because I feel like at that point I'm having a genuinely different experience than I'm gonna have when I watch it when it inevitably comes out at home. Because at least then it's I've seen it on the big screen, I've taken it all in, and so I don't think it's a necessity, but I'm just kind of like, we went from a golden age kind of in the 2000s and the 90s where it was kind of like things weren't so formulaic. So you were getting all kinds of different new films all over the place. Now at this point, like if we were the corporate board, we could literally sit there and say, so when is the Ant-Man 2 coming out? March. Oh, when are we gonna do the Fist of Iron Man 16? Oh, yeah, June. Yeah. Everything is so formulaic at this point. You only have a really handful of really significant, genuine pop culture, event films. I'm like, spending an extra $6 to go see it in IMAX is kind of like, well, until the next time they release more of these things, you'll never see it on IMAX.
Yeah. Well, because the thing of it is, there was that big debate a few years ago when Peter Jackson released the Hobbit films, and he did it at that
48 frames per second.
Yeah, and you either liked it or you didn't.
I can feel the contempt coming
I don't think he liked it.
Oh no! I'm just speaking as someone who works in video production.
Yeah.
And realizing what frame rates are appealing to me and which ones are not. So I wasn't even going to try and see that movie in 48 frames per second. It was funny because, I had no intention of seeing The Hobbit. I had no intention of even seeing the Hobbit movies, but it became one of these things that me and one of my old co-workers would always get together and do.
Costumes look really bad in 48 frames.
Yeah.
Come over here.
Yeah,
come
just
over here.
come
speak to
Come
us.
sit with us and share your thoughts, Leah, please.
So I was a film student when The Hobbit came out in 48 frames per second. And it was awful. It was just the worst thing in the world. Because the 48 frames per second really isn't for anything, but man, in New Zealand look cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, New Zealand does look cool. You know what doesn't look cool? Literally everything else in this movie, because 48 frames per second. The costumes looked a little like paper. Really, everything looked really off. It was too detailed. There's a sense of movie magic of those 24 frames per second, because real life is not 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
You don't make, live video, when you watch sports games, that's not done at 24 frames per second. It doesn't have that dreamy quality that, movies do.
Right.
And so,
That's
48 frames per second was I'm just watching a documentary with special effects.
And it's like,
You don't ever want to watch a documentary with special effects. You know how
Yeah, but those special effects weren't that great. Why did that orc always look like the moonlight was shining on him, but also in the daytime?
yeah.
I know exactly what she's talking
I'm like,
Oh my
why?
God.
He's just
Did you
oh,
talk to
so
Ben?
pale,
Did you
so
ever talk to Mandy
tortured.
Bennett about that?
Oh,
I'm sorry, who?
Did you ever talk to Mandy Bennett about that?
I need to next time I see him.
But yeah, it's like
I have to do it when he's sober.
Okay, on that note,
yeah.
is there anything else Star Wars related that we haven't covered?
No, I don't think so.
Any final questions?
I don't have any particular questions.
Well then, for the most sidetracked and random podcast in human history, we have
Leah Lee. It's me. I work here.
and
Kaede Kendall.
I'm Harry.
and I'm that random guy with the pink socks. Thank you for watching Pop Culture Uncovered here at Fantom Comics.
Thank you.
Located at 2010 P Street Northwest, Washington, D.C. I have no idea what the zip code
Second
is.
floor, the zip code is 20036.
If you've gone into the subway, you're in the wrong place.
To be fair, sometimes people come in here and ask if we are Subway. So
I don't doubt that.
Don't come here for a sandwich. Come here for the comics.
And on that note, Pop Culture Uncovered, we are found on the internet at popcultureuncovered.com. Follow us on Twitter at PC Uncovered, as well as Instagram. We also have a Tumblr floating around somewhere at Pop Culture Uncovered.
Snapchat?
Snapchat, not yet. We're working on that.
Periscope?
Working on that too.
Vimeo?
No.
Oh, Vimeo went out of business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as
Vimeo.
this venue is concerned,
video people use Vimeo.
wow. As far as this venue is concerned, this is our last show for the year. We will be back in January, and I'm trying to remember what's big coming in January. We got some plans for next year.
That Triple X Return of Xander
Yeah, you'll be
Cage.
right, sure. As far as some other stuff that we got coming up down the road, well, since it's pretty much the end of the year, we got our end of the year shows coming up. So,
Ooh, are we going to talk about the fate of the 8 on the end of the year show?
you know what? If it makes the outline, we got to check that outline out.
Fate of the Furies?
Yes.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to
Those
talk about
movies used to be about
Westworld.
drag racing.
You know what else I need to add?
They are going to end
I need to add a blurb about Disney taking over. Well, not taking over, but getting into bed with Netflix. Because you know what I was shocked that turned up on Netflix the other day?
What's that?
Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Idris Elba new
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
John Favreau one directed.
And I don't even know if it's out on Blu-ray, and it probably is. And I just missed it, but it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's been on Netflix I
Streaming.
think for like a good, at least a week or so.
Yeah.
A good few
More than that.
week or two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Because I'm looking at it like this: the impact of something like that showing up on Netflix might start deterring people from pirating a lot of stuff if it's there.
Because when I saw it, I thought that it was the original animated movie.
I was like, oh no,
and I was like,
yeah.
The one I just saw in theaters this summer?
Yeah.
Wow.
So stay tuned for the end of the year show. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to cover. Other than that, folks,
Buy Mafia 3 is better than the reviews.
and yeah, and I got to talk to you guys about Final Fantasy 15 as well. And we are out. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
everybody.
May the force be with you.
Always.
And also with you.
See, I knew that. I knew that was coming.
Oh my
Can't
god.
take me anywhere.
No, you can't.